16-year-old Hannah Anderson talking publicly for the first time since her kidnapping ordeal as she prepares to bury her mother and brother this coming weekend. NBC's national correspondent Kate Snow is in San Diego. Kate, good morning.
Good morning, Matt. Hannah Anderson isn't prepared yet to talk about the details of her kidnapping, but she did want to clarify a few things. She wanted, for one thing, to talk about why she had communication with the man she knew as Uncle Jim before he kidnapped her. Search warrants filed by the San Diego Sheriff's Department show that Hannah wrote letters to the 40-year-old man and that they exchanged text messages or phone calls 13 times on the very day she was abducted. Hannah says there's a good explanation for all of it.
The phone calls weren't phone calls, they were text, because he was picking me up from cheer camp and he didn't know the address or where I was, so I had to tell him the address and tell him that I was going to be in the gym and not in front of the school, just so he knew where to come get me.
That's 16-year-old Hannah Anderson describing her final hours of freedom before James DiMaggio abducted her from San Diego and led authorities on a cross-country chase. DiMaggio's violent rampage started at his own home in the San Diego neighborhood of Boulevard, where he killed Hannah's mother, Christina, and her 8-year-old brother, Ethan. Then he set fire to his home, where San Diego sheriff's detectives later found letters from Hannah written to DiMaggio.
And the letters were from a year ago when me and my mom weren't getting along very well. Me and him would talk about how to deal with it, and I'd tell him how I felt about it, and he'd help me through it. They weren't anything bad. They were just to help me through tough times.
As the lone survivor who knows what happened, Hannah is now the subject of intense scrutiny.
Hannah, anything you'd like to say?
And online criticism.
They don't really know the story, so they kind of have their own opinion on what they hear.
Car wash!
Hannah's friends and neighbors are showing their support, raising money to help pay for this weekend's funeral for her mother and brother.
He had a really big heart, and
Hannah struggled as she tried to talk about Ethan, but says her mother instilled a strong spirit within her that is helping her through tough times.
She was strong-hearted and very tough. She knew how to handle things.
Tonight, an Amber Alert spreading across several states and a growing manhunt.
Hannah says she had no idea there was a nationwide search going on for her and had never even heard of an Amber Alert.
I didn't really know what it was, but I know it helped people find me, and it made them realize that it's hard to find people out there, but with everyone's support, it can help a lot.
Despite all the law enforcement resources dedicated to the Amber Alert, it was a chance encounter with 4 horseback riders in Idaho that led to Hannah's rescue from a place called the River of No Return.
I'd like to say thank you, because without them, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
After the riders notified authorities, it was only a matter of hours before an FBI tactical team confronted DiMaggio near Moorhead Lake, killing him in a shootout.
I wanted to thank the horsemen and the Amber Alert and the sheriff and the FBI, with everyone that put in their time to find me, and my dad and my friends and my family and just all my supporters that help spread the word and the news, because the news help get out there fast.
Today, Hannah is trying to get back to her life as a daughter, a dancer, a high school student, and leave her past and her critics behind.
You are who you are, and you shouldn't let people change that, and you have your own opinion on yourself, and other people's opinion shouldn't matter.
Important to remember, this is a girl who just turned 16 recently. She was scared and nervous to talk with us, but she wanted to say thank you to all those people who helped find her and she believes helped save her life. And coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, we'll have more of our conversation with Hannah Anderson, including why she decided to go online very publicly and talk about her ordeal just days after she was rescued. Matt, Savannah.
Hi, Kate. Thank you very much. Obviously so emotional at the time where she was talking about Ethan, her brother, and her mom, but overall, all incredibly composed, given what she's been through.
Absolutely. And imagine to go through the ordeal she went through, then come home and find out the terrible news about her mother and brother, who she now has to help bury. So to see her composure is quite remarkable. We'll hear more from Hannah in a little bit.